the second of our rules that are going to make life a little bit easier when it comes to calculus. So we've seen the chain rule or anarchy. Now we've got the product of the rule. Now the formal definition of the product rule is something like that, where u and v are both functions of x. But that's not how I remember it. That's how I remember it. Write down the first and diff the second, plus write down the second and diff the first. And the quicker you say it, the cooler it is. But again, you're saying what you're doing. That's why I find it easier. So let's do an example. So something like this. Yes, I could expand it out, I know that. But let's pretend. Write down the first. Well, the first function there is x to the power of 7. So I write it down. And diff the second one. So the second is x to the 9 minus 6. Differentiate that, I get 9x to the power of 8. Plus, write down the second. X to the power of 9 minus 6. Diff the first. Differentiate x to the power of 7, we get 7x to the power of 6. Tidying all that up, we've got some terms that will add there. And there's my answer. Whether or not you want to factorise that, well, it's up to you. I mean, it depends, again, what you're going to do with the derivative. So write down the first, diff the second. Plus write down the second, diff the first. Write down the first, diff the second, plus write down the second, diff the first. So x minus 2 is the first. Write down the first. Diff the second, 2. Plus, write down the second, 2x minus 3. Diff the first, differentiate x minus 2, you get 1. Tying it up, there's our derivative. Write down the first, diff the second, plus write down the second, diff the first. Write down the first, x to the 7 minus x cubed. Diff the second, 6x. Plus, write down the second, 3x squared plus 7. Diff the first, we get 7x to the 6 minus 3x squared. Expand that out, tidy it up, we have our derivative. Oh, this one's cool, because write down the first, 3x, diff the second, but the second is x squared plus 4 to the power of 5, so now we need to use anarchy. Bring down the power, 5, lower the power, 4, diff the inside, 2x, plus, write down the second, x squared plus 4 to the power of 5, diff the first, 3. Okay, let's tidy that up. We have common factors in there. So what goes into, well, 3 goes into both. X squared plus 4 to the power of 4 goes into both. I said 3 goes into both. Maybe I missed that. I said 3 goes into, oh, finally, there's the factor of 3. So we get 3, x squared plus 4 to the power of 4, 11x squared plus 4. 2x roots, 2x minus 1. Well, before I can do this, got to put it into index form. I get 2x minus 1 to the power of a half. Write down the first, 2x. Diff the second, ooh. But now I have to use anarchy. Okay. Bring down the power, a half. Lower the power, negative a half. Diff the inside, we get 2. Plus, write down the second, 2x minus 1 to the power of a half. Diff the first, 2. Okay, common factors. 2 is a common factor. 2x minus 1, it doesn't matter the one's a negative indice. The rule always is pull out the lowest one. So we will pull out 2x minus 1 to the power of negative a half. And that will leave me with x plus 2x minus 1. There's our mere mortal answer. Super mathematicians. There we go. 2, 3x minus 1 all over the square root of 2x minus 1. So that is our product rule. We can add that to our suite of rules. So we now have the chain rule. Bring down the power, lower the power, diff the inside. But we can add to that the product rule. Write down the first, diff the second, plus write down the second, diff the first. Enjoy.